Good evening, everyone. We are the Laney and Lou team, and we are so excited to share with you the amazing work that we have done for Laney and Lou this semester. Next, yeah. This is our wonderful team. I had the pleasure of serving as peer mentor. My name is Sarah Wilkinson, and then there was Cloud, Brooke, and Lauren, and of course, our amazing partner from Laney and Lou, the founder and owner, Jennifer. So what is Laney and Lou? Laney and Lou is an inspired eatery located in Exeter, New Hampshire. Their mission statement is to create real food and drink that nourishes the body, feeds the soul, and inspires community. Laney and Lou was a great company to get to know over the semester, and it was so exciting to hear how passionate Jennifer is about becoming a B Corp in the future.
So Laney and Lou has many strengths, and one of them that stood out to us was their impact during COVID-19. They served 3,500 meals to first responders and those in need. And I want to acknowledge that they are a small business, so they were able to do this while also overcoming challenges of their own during a pandemic. Laney and Lou also does an excellent job to support their employees, as well as having strong customer relations. Next slide, please. This small business also has robust ethics and transparency. Laney and Lou is women owned, which is very inspiring, and the business also has a zero waste commitment.
When our team first sat down with Jennifer at the beginning of the project, something she was concerned about was getting done with the clinic and then not knowing what to do next. So we have put together a comprehensive document with detailed steps on how to move forward. In each section of the BIA, we have put together 3 to 5 short and long-term recommendations for Laney and Lou to take to become B Corp certified in the future. Next slide, please.
There were a few challenges we encountered throughout the clinic. Laney and Lou had the fortunate opportunity to nearly double in size, which is pretty exciting considering we're in a global pandemic. So the timing of renovations with the clinic led to a lot of moving parts, so everyone had to remain flexible with communication and deadlines. There were several instances that we had to seek further clarification on the assessment questions because the questions were too vague and we didn't know if Laney and Lou's practices were being properly represented by a response option. And lack of knowledge about what kind of documentation would be sufficient for assessment questions was a gray area that we couldn't give Jen definite answers for much of the time. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, we set out to pave a path forward for Jen that would improve her BIA score and allow for a smooth transition to implement recommendations before submission for certification. We also wanted to ensure that our recommendations reflected the vision and core values of Laney and Lou. Next slide. So thank you so much. It was such a fun time, and reflecting upon my experience in the clinic, I got to practice professional communication, but like effectively utilizing everyone's time. And I realized the value that that goes into a collaborative group project.
Throughout the semester, I learned the value of staying organized as well as the importance of documentation.
This experience has taught me a lot about how much goes into running a small business, and has also given me a greater appreciation for small business owners that are making an impact in our community right now.
Working with the clinic this semester was definitely different than my previous experience, but it was really, really great to work with a smaller, more localized company this time. And it was really inspiring to see how strongly Jen values her team and the community that that her business is in. It was also a really great experience for me learning how to how to lead this team and how to handle and deal with any challenge that was possibly thrown our way. I want to say a huge thank you to Cloud, Brooke, and Lauren for all of their amazing hard work this semester. And of course to Jennifer for being willing to open up her company to us and being so sweet and welcoming. And of course to Erin and Emily for all of your guidance this semester. And as always, thank you to Fiona for creating this clinic and really providing all of us with an amazing learning experience this semester, despite being virtual and any other challenges that we faced. So with that, I'll be happy to open up the floor to any questions that anyone may have.
Thank you so much, Laney and Lou team. That was so inspiring, and I love seeing all of these amazing food pictures. So I'd love to, Jennifer, if you want to share just a few words, I'd love to hand it to you first before we open it to questions.
Absolutely. I just want to say thank you so much, Erin and Fiona and my awesome team. Sarah, Cloud, Brooke, Lauren, as you saw from their little bio screen. These ladies are super cool, very much in alignment with Laney and Lou. And it was super inspiring to see their passion for not only our food, but what we do and why we do it. So as the team, talked about, one of our biggest challenges was actually a very positive thing for our company. We were able to secure a retail space adjoining Laney and Lou, and we had to move very, very quickly. We ultimately rebuilt our restaurant from 750 square feet to 1350, literally in 4.5 weeks. And all of the things that were leading up to it were extremely demanding on my end. I learned a lot in the sense that we try to do really big things with very few resources at Laney and Lou. And I think my team really handled themselves so well in really navigating my own personal constraints with this project. I'm super excited to see where we take it in the future. And I really do feel very well set up to be able to establish many of the missing pieces of documentation that will support many of the things and the ethos that we already have in place. So thank you, ladies. I really had a great time with you guys.
I also want to say thank you to Lauren, who recruited you, Jen, too. Even though you and I know each other in real life, Lauren was the one who sent the emailing and got you into the clinic in the first place. So I'm so thrilled about that.
Super cool.
Does anyone have questions? I'd love to field some questions from folks. So for our team, I would love to just know, what was really and truly just the biggest learning curve for you as you were starting to work with the Laney and Lou team?
That's definitely, it's an interesting question. And I would say for me, all of my B Corp knowledge was from my prior experience doing the clinic. And that was a very, very, very different project than working for Laney and Lou. So I previously worked alongside Orbis, which was, again, an awesome experience. However, it is very different because they're so much larger. And so with them, like, we were kind of all spread apart in all these crazy different places and who was talking to who. And there was just a lot of different stuff going on. So the biggest learning curve for me at first would definitely have been to kind of take a step back and be like, they're so much smaller. Like, there's like a lot less that is official or formalized. It's just something that they do because they know it's like the right thing to do. And I mean, that's something that I truly love. And so we kind of had to find that line of like, oh, okay, like, yes, they do this and we're not going to change that, but somehow down the road, we just need to write it down and put it somewhere. And so that was definitely the biggest learning curve for me, was going from working for a company that has everything formalized somewhere, even if it doesn't fit the question response, or even if it's not necessarily something that is supportive of them becoming a B Corp, to something that's just so much smaller. And there's no bad words. It's anything, like, it's just different. Everything's different. It's unique. And it was, again, a great experience.
I think for me personally, and this kind of speaks to how much the Be Impact Clinic gives us real world experience, is Jennifer came from a corporate background, and she started using words with us like deliverables and action items. And I just never really, heard words like that in the classroom setting. So it was really awesome to learn what that means and realize that those are going to, come up in the real world every single day.
That's so great, Claude. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right. I'll hand it off to either Lauren or Brooke if you want to share just any other takeaways before we move on.
Yeah, I can just share one. It was it was from you, Erin. Staying on scope actually kind of proved to be a little hard for me, because I would go down, like, in the environmental section I did in the assessment. I was kind of creating a framework for Jen that would help serve her business in terms of setting up best practices for what different environmental goals. And I kind of just went down like this wormhole of how to create this framework of environmental policies. And I'm like, no, I need to stay within the scope. So just having this project setting was really, really awesome for me to work through in terms of staying on scope and being self-sufficient in that framework.